What is up, bros? So hopefully everything's working good. I had some technical difficulties that were giving me some anxiety before I started doing the show or whatever you want to call it. Uh, Left my mic on, killed my laptop. Just found out about it. Well, it was almost too late, so that was a bit concerning. Just get the chat up. So, staggering hypocrisy, right? Lots. Locally, nationally, I'm sure, internationally. Really, what? Like, we knew that though, right? And so, the first thing I want to bring up is obviously about our good American doctor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, killing it out there. Obviously, we had to talk about this today, right? So it should be loaded up here. I've got this from the Post Millennial, which was literally just sent to me by Cliff. I was going to use a different article, but this one is better. So I'll just scroll back to the top here. Then we can get a good look at it. Fauci emails. Masks are not really effective. Thanks, Eva. I love this shirt too. It says the rest on the back, which is awesome. But yeah, so Fauci emails. Masks are not really effective. Advocated for school closures. Hold on. Advocated for school closures. New virus could have been engineered. We need to stop here so we can all see this ad together. I was hoping this one would come up. So you can see, one thing as a side note about Jason Kenney, if you can't see the ad currently, this one looks like an indoor social gathering, maybe at some sort of large family get-together, or one might even say it's some sort of lounge setup. And what I'm seeing, and what I don't think you can see on the end of this bad boy is, hold on. Oh yeah, okay, let's make it bigger. If you can't see the end there's some drinks there's some alcoholic beverages in the droplet there on this ad, and it says, obviously, get vaccinated so we can all get back to normal. Now, one thing that I love about this ad specifically is that for weeks, Jason Kenney has faithfully, oh my goodness, what's happening here? He has faithfully posted these ads, hasn't he? Because he has been telling us that we can get back to normal. Right? So that's just a little side note about this ad that I love. So I will deal with that after, though. It was fortunate that this specific ad popped up. Because I like that it had drinks and sitting around a table together as the ad. So that was pretty fun. Back to Anthony. Also, guys, please like and share the video, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Like and share, comment. Just comment. All of that helps. I think I'm probably being suppressed slightly to some degree, because it seems like we're getting capped all the time. Also, I guess before I should go any further, obviously, I've been doing this on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Well, I am going to take advantage of that stage 2 reopening plan. It says there are no restrictions on sports. So I've already gotten the email that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is going to be opening up mid-June. And the classes that I usually go to are Tuesday and Thursday. So I think I'm going to move this to Wednesday and try to do an extra one sometimes. That's my current plan. I do have a church thing that we do every Monday. And so that is going to be over soon. So I might do Monday and Wednesday again once that's over. But yeah, I gotta do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm getting pretty fat again, and the weight is going up. And see, you might think it's the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that helps you lose weight. It's not. Well, it is, but it's more the content of your stomach when you're doing Jiu-Jitsu makes you want to eat better. So that really helps. Hey, look, it changed back to the soccer player one. I'm not, Bill, I'm not going to talk about it online, but we can text. You know, obviously there's not that many options where I live. You could probably figure it out if you really tried, right? So let's get through this. Let's get through these emails. So, and obviously you guys have been seeing this a lot, right? I mean, let's be serious. It's been going around, so. Freedom of Information Act requests from Washington Post and BuzzFeed have resulted in massive cache of emails from Dr. Fauci. The emails from the early months of 2020 reveal that Fauci was inundated with requests, suggestions, and offers of assistance from the medical community. So, what is happening here? Let's get rid of that. Fauci said early on in these emails that face masks are not helpful. Received information that there was reason to believe the virus was engineered and advocated early for school closures, despite evidence showing that kids were not at high risk of contracting or spreading the illness. Are masks helpful? So you saw this response from Sylvia Burrell. Let's just skip right down to the email. So she asked him about masks being effective. He responded, Masks are really for infected people to prevent them from spreading infection to people who are not infected, rather than protecting uninfected people from acquiring infection. Which, of course, we knew this. So many people have been saying this forever, almost since the start. I'm not going to say, like, I wasn't worried about it initially, because I was for, like, a couple weeks, right? We all kind of took a step back and we're panicking a little, right? So, let's see here. So the typical mask you buy in the drugstore is not really effective in keeping out virus, which is small enough to pass through the material. It might, however, provide some slight benefit in keeping out gross droplets if someone coughs or sneezes on you. I do not recommend that you wear a mask, particularly since you are going to a very low-risk location. Your instincts are correct. Money is best spent on medical countermeasures such as diagnostics and vaccines. So, I mean, one thing you could deal with right there is that he was already pushing vaccines right at the very start as one of the only things that would solve it. So that was his plan from the get-go, obviously. We knew that, though, right? Is the virus lab-enhanced or engineered? Christian G. Anderson, director of the Scripps Research Institute, exchanged a series of emails with Fauci in early January 2020. Anderson wrote that the unusual features of the virus make up a really small part of the genome. Less than 0.1%. So one has to look really closely at all the sequences to see that some of the features potentially look engineered. She said further that those on her team all find the genome inconsistent with expectations from evolutionary theory. Well, we would have another reason for why things look inconsistent from evolutionary theory, but we won't get into that right now. So here you go. So this post-millennial ad, you know what? In fact, let's what is happening here? I'm just going to post this in the comments for you guys. So you can see it. So let's see here. Here, I'll put up the YouTube one because it looks cooler. So there's the link. You can find it in the comments. If you want to go look at it yourself after. And you can see it just goes on like, look at this one. The virus looks totally normal, and the close clustering with bats suggests that bats serve as the reservoir. The unusual features of the virus make up a really small part of the genome. So one has to look really closely. Okay, so that's what we already saw there from the quote above. We have a good team lined up to look very critically at this. That's awesome. So that is really interesting. Impact of COVID on kids. Wow, we're crushing all the topics. So he writes to Dick. Richard, we'll call him. Transmission is definitely by respiratory droplets. Still unclear about aerosol transmission, although there are anecdotal reports that this occurs similar to what we saw in individual episodes of SARS back in 02-03. Almost certainly contact transmission occurs with hand to mucosa, mouth, eyes, nasal mucosa. Unclear about formites, doorknobs. I don't know what a formite. I don't know. Oh, fomites. I don't know what that means. Virus can live for a couple of hours on certain inanimate objects. Weren't we being told that it could live for like days at the start? I do remember that, don't you? I definitely remember it. I definitely remember it lasting for days on surfaces. I remember being told that, like, depending on the surface. Virus definitely isolated from stool and urine, but not sure of role in transmission. No information about transmission to fetus. Children have a very low rate of infection. No good serologic test at this point, although they are rapidly being developed. Best, Tony. He likes that. Best, Tony. Wow. Data on individuals aged 18 years old and under suggests that there is a relatively low attack rate in this age group, 2.4% of all reported cases. So, ooh, what's this one? My bad. It would be great if you could tweet to your many Twitter followers that although the current risk of coronavirus to the American public is low, the fact that there is continued spread of virus in a number of countries besides China and including South Korea, Japan, Italy, Iran, among others, poses a risk that we may progress to a global pandemic of COVID-19. So they're already kind of setting it up. So these are interesting. I mean, oh wow. I see. That was to Morgan Fairchild. Let's see. Yet it was early on that Fauci advocated for closing schools when actress Morgan Fairchild reached out to him to offer her help. He said that she should tweet out that although the current risk... Oh, okay. He told her to tweet what I just read there. He told Fairchild that this could result in the temporary closure of schools. Yeah, okay, there you go. I remember that. We were told days. We were told days initially. What is this one? And in March, he told Washington Post Michael Gerson that schools should likely be closed in order to prevent spread. The CDC went on to not track spread within schools. Social distancing is not really geared to wait for a vaccine. The major point is to prevent easy spread of infections in schools, closing them. Crowded events such as theaters, stadiums, cancel events. Workplaces do teleworking where possible. States and localities make these decisions, not the federal government. The goal of social distance is to prevent a single person who's infected to readily spread to several others, which is facilitated by close contact and crowds. Close proximity of people will keep the RO rate of infection higher than 1 and even as high as 2 to 3. If we can get the RO to less than 1, the epidemic will gradually decline and stop on its own without a vaccine. I hear some kids yelling upstairs. I don't know if you guys can hear that. That's okay. I turned the fan off today, so that's not going to be annoying. Anyway, I would go read the rest of this article. I mean, it really did just seem to pull out all the good ones. So yeah, and now we're down to the bottom. But let's see what happens here. Okay. So, you know, it is kind of interesting that the truth about this stuff is coming out, right? But the concern is that what you have is you might have like don't don't I won't disclose where I got this idea from, but you have warring factions. And so you've got this group that has been super pro China, like Anthony Fauci, and you've got another group that is trying to slow down this, and they're kind of probably allowing the exposure of these guys to happen publicly, right? So think about how the mainstream media is kind of turning on Anthony Fauci. He even got his book deal he had a book pre-order, it got canceled. Look that up. So I would just go look for that information more. I know I brought up this on email, but yeah, I would just go look at it yourselves after. Sorry, I'm a little flustered by this, honestly. It is terrible. So I guess at this point I should also bring up again, as you can see, I've changed the name of my little donate box down. How do I do this? Here. Haha. Here. Hey? It's right there on the screen. And because that's really what it was for. Originally I thought, okay, well, I'll put it out there. People want to help me pay for things as it comes up. But realistically, I had just paid for Melon, like the app that I use for this. So yeah, basically what I really want to do is just raise funds for on location resources, and someone e-transferred me money instead of sending it through here. So that was pretty awesome. But yeah, so if you support my on-site evangelism, please help me out so I can bring out the resources for these people that I'm interacting with. And then also, if you want something for your money, again, discount code Resistance Coffee. Use Davis at checkout, and you'll receive 10% off your first order. I have shirts coming. I'm pretty excited. I'm not going to lie. So let's see what else I can screen share tonight. I've got a couple good ones. We're dealing with hypocrisy today. Oh yeah, I do have a federal one. Haha. Let's see if I can get it up here. Did we all see Chrystia Freeland today? Oh, it's totally not in there. That's awesome. Okay, never mind. That is unfortunate. All right, I'm going to pull this up super quick. I don't know what happened to I had two different Facebook pages pulled up, and they're both gone from my feed, so I'm not really sure what happened there. But I will be able to get it up pretty quick. I've figured out how to be a little smoother with this anyway. I just need to wait for load times. So here we go. So I've got one up right now. Oh, what was that? No. It was playing the video already. So, all right. Okay. I know this is great content. I know. Just trying to find this video. So, here we go. Ah, yes. Okay. Here we go. Screen share. It's coming, guys. Oh my goodness. Let's see if it's the right one. It is. It's got some garbage across it, though. You know, you can like try to prepare for stuff, but personal info coming up, that's great. What is happening here? So, obviously we're doing some like pro level content creation live here, guys. The government is wrecking me. No, it's not. So I'm not being attacked by the government, I don't think. I mean, you know, I wouldn't put anything past them. But basically what you're going to see here is Chrystia Freeland. She doesn't think she's on camera. And she's already started the feed. So she's not wearing her mask, which why she would be worried about that sitting at a desk by herself is bizarre to me, but there's obviously someone else there because someone hands her a mask. And so, and then she mumbles, "Oh, I think something, and we'll hear that right away. We'll try and figure out what she said." But so we'll try to figure out what she said, and then she gets handed a mask, takes it off, or puts it on, then takes it off so that she can start her meeting, right? So let's check it out. What's happening here? Of course, there's no sound. Oh, here we go. I may not have turned them something. You can't quite make out what she says there. But now the meeting's starting, right? The other girl is laughing at her.
All right, welcome to today's press conference. Bienvenue à la conférence de presse d'aujourd'hui.
Oh, and we take our mask off. So there you go, guys. There you go. That's really all I wanted to show you. I know it's horrendous.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Yeah, okay. So there you go. She comes out. It's all hypocrisy. It's all mask hypocrisy. Over and over and over again. It's all a lie. They're lying to you. They've been lying to you from the beginning. This is why they're hanging out, having a great time. Now, we're obviously going to talk about the rooftop stuff. Obviously. Right? But as I move to my next thing, what is happening here? I'm getting so many. Great. Can you guys hear that? That dinging? I hope not. It's very annoying. Someone is messaging me. So I just need to go to my own page because I'd love to bring up the photos for you guys, even though we've already seen them. Wow, I can see myself doing my live stream right now. Awesome. And this is what we really wanted. This is what we wanted. My favorite picture of the day. So, no dinging here. Beautiful. I just don't know what's running through and what's on there, right? So, we're doing fantastic content. And this is what we want. So, I've chosen this one to use for my backdrop. Hold on. Should I do this one? Let's do this. Oh, yeah. So, I've got it down in the bottom there. Let's see if I could clean it up a little more, make it bigger. Why can't I make you bigger? Oh, there we go. Perfect. So, as you can see, we'll just make that the focal point. As you can see, we've got Jason Nixon, Tyler Shandro, and Jason Kenney having a great time. I've been told that one of these bottles is a bottle of Jameson Irish whiskey. I do not know. Someone is asking me about my shirt. Hi, Sylvia. So, my shirt says, what does it say? It's Paul Washer. It says, I don't know why you're clapping. And then on the back it says, I'm talking about you. Now, I guess I should bring myself up here. I don't know why you're clapping. I'm talking about you. So, That is from Shocking Youth Message by Paul Washer. If you haven't watched that sermon, go watch it. Go watch it. Get a blanket. Like, just make sure you're in a safe space because you're going to need it. It's a rough one. So, I'm preparing you. I should have also got my Signal chat open so I could talk to Cliff. So there you go. I have Signal open, Cliff, just in case you were wondering. Oh, no. So, we are working it out here. We are working it out together, you guys. And bam. All right. Perfect. Today is a gong show for me. Perfect pick. You guys are hilarious. So, that's not what we want. Okay. There we go. What do we want here? Something like this? Or the reverse? Okay. You know what? Forget it. Let's make it this one. So, obviously, we've got our guys here, and they're sitting in fire saying, this is fine. This is the this is fine meme, right? So, we have been told currently that the current restrictions in Alberta are no more than 4 at a table. No more. Also, all from the same household. And if you were sitting at, you could maybe make an argument that, like, say this guy over here, the bald guy on one end, and like Tyler Shandro were sitting at a table like this. You might be able to make the argument that, they're social distancing across the table from each other. I would give them that one. Honestly, I probably would. They're trying to make it happen here. So, I'm trying to keep the Nathan always with his sarcasm. So here's a good one. I love this one. This one might be my favorite one. Because you've got your two guys walking away from the table, almost holding hands, and neither of them are wearing masks, and they're standing up. So I guess really all this comes down to is that they don't believe what they're telling you. They've told you to get a shot because we can go back to normal if you do. But they don't actually care for themselves. Now, they could make the argument, yeah, well, we've all been vaccinated, but that's not the rules. None of these rules for gatherings apply or are different on the condition that you have been vaccinated, right? Do you guys remember that? I don't remember that. So I'm having a problem with the blatant hypocrisy here. Now, there is a Dina Hinshaw video of her being asked about it. I did not have time to go through that today. I heard that she deflected pretty hard. The latest CMOH order allows for political meetings. Yeah. Yeah, a political meeting where you sit around the table drinking. It's awesome. Government and AHS can't catch COVID. That's true. So, guys, I would say that what we should probably do is we should probably all call AHS and report a complaint that we saw our neighbor having a party on top of his balcony with a bunch of men, and none of them looked related. They didn't look like they all lived in the same household. I think that's what we should do. I think we should call them in and file a complaint. Why not? I think it'd be pretty fun. Also, check this out. Thanks, Devin. Hey, man, you're welcome. I don't know what you're saying thanks for, but, you know, I really appreciate it. Just do a freestyle rap, Devin, for the views. No, thank you. That's Cliff's idea, coming in on my Signal app. I don't know, guys. What else did we see on YouTube today? Anybody else got anything awesome in the comment section? I do have Bible verses for this. I am worried that they're a little bit of a stretch, and I try to be consistent with the text, but I think there's a good one, and you guys are going to know the verse whether you're a Christian or not. But Matthew 7 has the famous and often misused verse from the KJV. Judge not lest ye be judged, right? And I think that is something we're going to read now as I get there. See, it would be ideal to have it pulled up on my computer as well, but hey. So, if you'd like, if you have a Bible around, you can go check this out for yourself. We're going to read it together, though. Ooh. Yeah, so there's a Western Standard article titled Hinshaw Won't Say If Kenney's Sky Palace Dinner Broke Rules. Oh yeah, Shannon in the comments here. Time to Google which nonprofits took government money to stay closed. That's what they did. I believe that our church was called and offered money. So Matthew 7, guys, it's the judge not verses, but it's obviously not about not judging. It's about judging with righteous judgment. So let's take a look. Oop. Do not judge so that you will not be judged, for in the way you judge, you will be judged. And by your standard of measure, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, and behold, the log is in your eye? You hypocrite! First, take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. Do not give what is holy to dogs, and do not throw your pearls before swine, or they will trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. So I think the relevant part there is like verses 1 to 5 for us. That has some application. These government officials, again, I talk about this a lot, but they will have to stand you will be able to stand. Sorry, I got distracted. I'll just put the comment up. So, these government officials will have to stand before God and be judged for what they did. Now, I think that even the unbelievers, they're going to have this judgment applied to them. The standard by which they judged will be applied to them. And so think about this as a just and holy God, a perfect and righteous judge. When you have to stand before him and you have to recall that you made people do all this stuff, all these restrictions, all these crazy conditions you put on people, but behind the scenes, you didn't follow them. That is troubling stuff, I think. You know, hypocrites, hypocrisy and lying are very similar. Basically, Cliff's sending me memes. Basically, this is a lie. What is the lie, though? We need to analyze it. Just think with me for a minute as I work this out in my own brain. What is the lie? Because it is a lie. The lie is that Jason Kenney is concerned about your health and your well-being, and that he thinks that these rules are effective for preventing the spread of this virus. He obviously does not think that the virus is a big deal at this point, because he's willing to huddle around with all his buds, right? It is clear that when he says the only way to get back to normal is by getting vaccinated, that is not true. It is only true because he demands it of us, right? He could stop this at any time he chooses. He could. So I will address this. Obviously, you guys have probably read it by now. Hey, Devin, you mentioned the last time you or a friend was able to get inside Grace Life Church. That sounds like good news. So from what I understand, AHS has always had a protocol where we could get a hold of them. They would let us in to get our stuff. And so obviously I was excited because our sound guy type dude, he does all kinds of other stuff. He's not just a sound guy, but that is one of his main roles currently at our church, is sound, video kind of stuff. Anyway, he got my bass for me that had been left in there and the stuff that came with it, which is really cool. So, yeah, that's all it was. You can ask AHS to let you in, right? As I carry on, let's see here. Fauci being found out when the rest of them going to be found out and fired. Well, it's not like they're even firing Anthony Fauci, right? I think they're going to kind of just briskly move him to like retirement. So anyway, I was looking up Bible verses on hypocrisy, and I did find some other stuff, but I can't remember where it was, so I'll have to deal with it. Anyway, guys, I know this content, man. Today is a rough day for me, so I am sorry. Yeah, that's okay. Ooh. Cliff is... But Devin, the government doesn't enforce the law. That's up to law enforcement. Cliff. I like that you put your name in the text. That's pretty awesome. In that uppercase, lowercase variant text. Okay. I'm going to put this one up too, because I think that this one was the best one that I saw. This picture here is super awesome and I love it. It really captures the heart of the hypocrisy, putting the little COVID man. And guys, if you're not from Alberta, these COVID-19, this is from these COVID-19 commercials they're doing around Christmas time. You can see he's wearing an ugly Christmas sweater. They had the COVID man, and it would be like, COVID loves a house party. COVID loves hugging your children, right? Trying to scare you, whatever, right? So obviously it's, oh my goodness. COVID loves patio gate, right? When will they get building back? Like we get our building back at 30% when Grace Life get given back. So I don't know what's going to happen. We have some suspicions about what's going to happen. But I won't talk about those because they're just suspicions. I would imagine that because it's always been based on us submitting a reopening plan that will then adhere to the current restrictions. Basically, we won't get it back until there's no restrictions. That's me personally making that guess. I cannot verify what they will do. I have no idea what their plan is. I do know that court has been going pretty poorly for them. So that's been exciting. So I don't know if you guys have watched any of the Rebel videos, but it looks like court has been going fairly bad. Oh, look at this awesomeness. Kenney was trying to say the scotch was just a cheap one in the ledge today and they paid for the catered meal. Unreal. It doesn't matter. Like, that's the thing, right? It's like, why are you painting this picture like we care? Like, I don't even care that you had a nice drink. It doesn't even, I don't care that much. You know what? Knock yourself out, buddy. It's okay. I don't really care if you use taxpayer dollars for that. I mean, it's not great, but really, it's not what we care about. What we care about is that you're breaking your own rules. That's what we don't want. We're sick of you breaking your own rules. We know that MLAs went away for Christmas and you didn't really care that much. We know this. And yet, here we are, still listening to you. The majority of Albertans are still listening to you, at least publicly. I do have a suspicion that mostly they're not doing it publicly. Behind the scenes, we're all hanging out and having a great time, right? I believe it. Oh, man. So, let's see here. What do we have here? Hey, my video's right there. Oh my goodness. Look at this guy from Manitoba. Hold on a second here. I'll just get through this ad before I play it for you guys, but we're going to play it. Oh my goodness. This is going to be horrendous to witness, man. I'm telling you right now. Let's just get rid of this. All of the money spent on COVID advertising, they could have built more ICU beds they were claiming we were short of. Exactly. I mean, and we were never short, but I see what you're saying. It's a claim. It was never really proven, was it? No, it wasn't. Good answer. Or good. It's a good phrase. Oh, look. The NS Premier, Ian Rankin, went to lunch on a patio yesterday to celebrate the opening of outdoor dining. He, his wife, and their server had masks on, but no one else in sight did. Well, I mean, I guess he wasn't enforcing it on other people, but he was doing it for himself for, like, the photo shoot. I mean, or he, like, here's the thing. I would rather see Jason Kenney sitting at that table wearing a mask like he actually believes it. Although, there's something that I was talking about with someone today what is comforting is knowing that they think it's all bogus too. Like, you're not crazy if you think it's bogus, because they're all on rooftops having a great time. So at least we know that they actually agree with us that it is all fraud, which I like. So I'm going to do another screen share just because, why not? We've got time. Oh, yeah. Let's do it. Look at this guy.
I know the Premier and others are optimistic. We were buoyed by the low numbers we had earlier with the 600s range. This recent rise in the last few days, which is not atypical of what we experienced in week over week. A bit more than we anticipated, but we want to make sure this is just a temporary one, maybe related to the Victoria Day weekend. So therefore, the data at the moment is less promising at this time, but we want to make sure we look at it early next week to have an idea of what it might be. So like others, if all our indicators are in a good position, we were looking for the week of the 14th.
So how can Manitoba be like less, like farther off from opening than us? How is that possible? With their population density and everything else, how is Manitoba even less, like they're farther away? Also, something I want to point out, I know they do the sign language video. I swear to you that is to distract us from actually paying attention to what they're saying. Like, I get it, there are deaf people, I get it, but it just seems like they really make sure that their characters now, that they're always over the top expressive. I don't know. That's just an opinion. Maybe I'm ridiculous for saying that. I don't know.
To see if we can improve on that, but it really is down to the numbers. And if I hope we don't have a continual rise over the weekend of more cases getting over 1,000 again. That would be disappointing, to say the least, because we tried to make sure all the measures were in place for the Victoria Day weekend. In that, and so let's hope we can turn that around fairly assertively and see if the numbers drop, and then we'll have some better answers for the Premier and the Minister.
Well, look here. It's coming up. Oh, here you go. Here's something interesting. So this is about Nova Scotia again. It's this weird dynamic. The leaders will play by the rules, but they don't totally care when the people don't, unless it makes them look bad. Then it's the rule breakers' fault. That is interesting. I would rather have them pretending to follow the rules publicly all the time, like, and not getting caught and not caring what I do. That actually sounds a little better. Obviously, the last part is the concern, right? I mean, hey, oh my god, you guys are being ridiculous with the amount. Okay, so I have a couple like people in my life that just like hit me up with a large sum of money every once in a while, and you don't need to send that much money. It's okay. Like, thank you for that. Let's see if it'll pop up when I refresh my screen. Because I don't know. I always thought it was going to do a cool animation, but it doesn't. There you go. It is up. Oh, look at this. They got handed different lines to memorize or read off a screen. Oh, yeah, no, totally. So, you remember those videos where it shows Doug Ford saying, "Oh, I can't go against my chief medical officer of health. I'd get hung." And then it like shows his chief medical officer of health saying, "I just read what they give me." That was everywhere. That was everywhere a month ago. Oh, well, that's weird that came up right now. What a weird thing that this came up in my feed right now, and it's probably from the refresh rate. Anyway, oh, you know what? I need to go see if there's a special note added to my Streamlabs thing. This is a good one. He says, keep proclaiming Christ, brother, for he is worthy. Thank you, Jonathan, for sending me that. I really appreciate it. I will use it. I will use it for something good. I will use it to evangelize people. That is what my goal is. And yeah, like, that's the thing. He sent $75. That's a lot, honestly. It's more than I thought anyone would send in one shot. And it's happened to me twice. It is the Grace Life people that have been funding me exclusively. So maybe I'll just ask them for money specifically from now on, because they seem to be the ones getting me going with my Bible buying, right? So that is fun. Thank you, Jonathan. Really cool. Like, you know what? Like, let's just, I don't know. I think I can keep this going. So I would love to know what. Ooh. I do really like Maxime Bernier, man. I'm not going to lie to you guys. He's been pretty awesome lately. Let's see here. So, breaking free. No. My wife is down here right now while I'm live streaming, which is truly mind-blowing that she would do that. But hey, here we go. Hold on a second. So, screen share yet again. I really do like the screen share thing. It's fun.
Warning. Censorship.
We cannot take for granted our freedoms, and that's important. So that's why I'm traveling across the country, doing these rallies with Canadians, and the more people would be out there, the more impact we will have. We need to change the public opinion in this country. We need to have an ideological revolution, and that's what we're doing. So I'm asking everybody, look, you cannot take your freedom for granted. Do the fight with us. Be out there, be loud, speak up, and be loud about what you want. And it's too bad. It's too bad that what is happening here in Ontario, in Alberta, in Quebec, that's not our way of life. That's not our country, and that's not something that a democratic country will do.
So I have a couple of questions about party and what do you think about the situation actual? So first one, what are your thoughts on the recent extension of the stay-home order in Ontario June 2nd?
I cannot believe that the Ford government did that. It's an authoritarian measures, and we must stop that. That's why I'm here today. I'm here again, all these draconian lockdowns and the stay-at-home order. I don't understand why people are listening to that. They must be free to do what they want to do. They must be free to go outside. They must be free to walk in the street and, see people, see their friends. And we know that lockdowns and stay-at-home order don't work. That's an experiment that failed, and actually it's the first time in the history of the world that we are fighting a virus with lockdowns. So if lockdowns work, why are we in the third or fourth lockdown? So it's not working. We must stop that. It's against our Charter of Rights, our freedoms, and that's why I'm here. I will be at this rally right now this afternoon, and I'll deliver a speech, and my main message is people must be out there and fight for their freedom. That's very important today, but because we are in a kind of communist country now here.
It's a really good answer. So my second one is, when do you think this lockdown measure will end?
They must end right now. They must end today. We don't need a plan to end the lockdowns. The provincial government needs to act right now, and people must fight. They must be in the street. I hope we'll have a lot of people this afternoon, but there's no reason to have these lockdowns. Look in the South, in the US, there's a lot of states over there, Georgia, Texas, South Dakota, Florida. It's all open. We must open our economy, and we know that every business is essential, so we must open our businesses, and that's why I'm here today.
For Bill C-10, what are the dangers you believe will arise if it become a law?
Yeah, that's our freedom. I'm against that bill. That bill must not pass. It's not in line with our Canadian values. So just to let you know, if you do a video on YouTube and you have a lot of followers, the state will be able to look at it and tell you to pay a tax, and to ask you also to have maybe more Canadian content. So we don't need that. We need to abolish the CRTC and abolish all these regulations.
That's true. I'm actually agreeing with you. Justin Trudeau has mentioned it, interest in developing a vaccine passport for the safety of Canadians. Do you oppose this idea?
Absolutely. We don't want to have a show me your papers society. That will be that. Vaccinated Canadians will have privileges, and unvaccinated Canadians won't be able to go to a hockey game, a football game, to a restaurant. We don't need these kind of. And so I'm against that. It's a communist ideology, and we will fight that. And we are the only political party at the federal level that is against the vaccine passport.
Perfect. In your eyes, and are you ready? Election.
Yes, we are ready. We have 338 candidates. A candidate vote for freedom, to vote for their values, to
actively change things.
First of all, they must be active. They must speak to their friends, their family, their colleagues. We cannot take for granted our freedoms, and that's important. So that's why I'm traveling across the country, doing these rallies with Canadians, and the more people will be out there, the more impact we will have. We need to change the public opinion in this country. We need to have an ideological revolution, and that's what we're doing. So I'm asking everybody, look, you cannot take your freedom for granted. Do the fight with us. Be out there. Be loud. Speak up. And
so obviously I was playing that video to buy myself some time here, because Nicole came downstairs. So she was just trying to tell me something. She sent me the changes that Dina Hinshaw made to some social distancing rules. She sent it to me in Messenger, so I'm gonna see if I can get that up. It's kind of hidden, but we are going to read that if we can, because apparently she's tried to give us some rules to follow, and it's not there at all. So that's awesome. That's great. Awesome. I wish that it would have been sent in a different format, but that's okay. So I'm just going to have to see how I can do it here. So what it says, guys, is it's the CMOH Order 29 of 2021, which modifies CMOH Orders 19, 2021, and 2021 and 2021. So I hate the way they word this too. Whereas I am, anyway, it's got some underlined stuff here. It says, whereas I am therefore modifying CMOH orders 19 and 20 to set out certain conditions that will apply to private social gatherings for a protest or political purpose, to protect Albertans from exposure to COVID-19 and to limit the risk of transmission of COVID-19. Therefore, I am taking the following steps effective 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on May 27th. So we never heard about this. Did you hear about this? I didn't hear about this. And then there's a second part where it's got, oh, look, you must remain outdoors except where necessary to use the washroom. Wear a face mask at all times, as that term is defined in Record of Decision. Decision CMOH Order 2022. It's very confusing to read. Maintains a minimum physical distance of any other person in attendance. Okay. Does not offer food or beverages to any other person in attendance regardless. So what is important here is she made a change to it, but it applies to private social gatherings. So let's keep in mind that is what they came out and said was private social gatherings. That's what they called their house party that they were having, is a private social gathering. And it was for political reasons, but it still doesn't follow any of the rules, right? So it's all the lies and hypocrisy that you're used to. We can all rejoice in that they are being found out one by one. And, oh wow, look at this. Confirmed leftist savior Fauci colluded with big... Oh yeah, did you see that? Anthony Fauci did collude with Mark Zuckerberg. He was getting emails from Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know if you guys saw that. But anyway, I think what's important here... I got to close this down because it's starting to train wreck, I think. Oh. So, I think before I close, obviously what I need to do is explain that hypocrisy is a sin. And one thing, when I read Matthew 7, that should always be read as a self-reflection on us first. Remember that. Judge not, lest you be judged. Right? I think it's important to just go back to that. Because we don't want to be hypocrites. And when we hold people to a standard that we're not following, that is hypocrisy. And it is a sin. And so we need to deal with our own sin first, right? It says, do not judge so that you will not be judged. For in the way you judge, you will be judged. And by your standard of measure, it will be measured to you. So remember, we have all lied. We have all been hypocrites. We have all sinned. And it's important to remember that the God of the Bible will punish sin. And he can either punish sin by putting it on you and having you pay for your own sin, or if you're one of his believers, that sin that you committed, the punishment for that sin has been poured out on Jesus Christ. And when you repent of your sin and you turn to Jesus Christ for the forgiveness of your sins, you will be saved. It's always important. I will never close on anything but that unless I have not given the gospel. If I've given the gospel somewhere else, maybe I'll close on something else. But if I haven't, I am going to close on the gospel. You must turn. Hey, oh, also, Laura, if you're here, Laura Ruzeski, you need to meet... Oh. we've got a satirical article here, Babylon Bee style. Alberta Premier defiantly against himself. CMOH says, if Grace Life Church, Fairview Baptist Church can meet in secret, so can I. Ha ha. Oh, hey, Laura. So you're going to see Doug Thiessen in the chat. Okay. He just went to the church in Saskatoon that you're now attending last week. So I just thought that you guys should say hi to each other. I just thought that was really interesting. I've become friends with Doug's son recently, so that's been really awesome. Anyway, if you just came, read the satire article that Cliff just whipped up out of nowhere, and then also make friends with everybody in the chat, Maybe I should make a Facebook group. I don't know. Some of you guys I don't trust, though, to have a Facebook group where you're just posting things willy-nilly. I'm not sure if I can handle that. All right. I'm going to sign out. I have embarrassed myself enough for one evening. I will see you guys later. Bro, here's the thing. Have a good night.